The customer's always right, aren't they? Sometimes they may challenge your vision and what you think looks attractive, but they're receiving the piece in the end, so you should just go with the flow. Since I'm not a professional woodworker, the recipient of my builds is often myself, and I'm pretty easy to please. This project, however, is for my daughter, and I thought I'd be cute and ask for her design specs. She gave me one direction.
Pink!
So, pink it is. Because this is for her, I figured she could take the reins on the voiceover work and walk you through this project.
You're pushing it through that red thing, slicing it on the bottom, turning the panel, putting the wood in there, and hitting it with another wood, putting two woods in, cutting the wood, and marking it, cutting it another time. Be careful, I might cut your finger off.
Yeah.
Slicing a little piece, a little tiny piece. Now gluing it. Spraying stuff so my name would stay on. Looking on your phone at what time it is.
Adult interjection. I calculated the amount of epoxy needed at 5.5 liters here, which would have been a waste of a ton of it. So I'm going to glue some filler blocks both in the corners and between the letters to take up some of that negative space. Back to you, Lily.
You're stirring epoxy. Putting red on in it.
I see.
Now stirring it up. Putting a lot of drops of white. Now stirring the white in there. Putting a little more red. You ain't pink! Love it. You're pouring the epoxy onto the wood, but not on my name. But you are pouring it on my name. Pouring more epoxy around my name.
I had to pour another more opaque layer as you could still see those filler blocks that I added before the first pour.
Swirling it around. Popping air bubbles with that fire thing. You're drilling holes. What's that white stuff coming out?
It's just cut up epoxy.
You're putting epoxy onto the holes. That one looks like a heart.
It does look like a heart.
But lost its side.
Yep.
You're outside putting white stuff on my legs. You're spraying them pink. Drilling little holes into the spaces onto the sides. And drilling the screws out. You're taking the legs out. You're taking the sides off. Trying to get the wood out, my shelf thing out of the wood, under it. You're trying to get the screws in there so it can get out. Oh, there you goes. You're measuring it, making a line of how you're measuring it with the X. Now you're drilling holes into that thing. Taking the screws out. Measuring that. Now poking holes into it. Now drilling holes. Putting screws in there. You're tracing that thing. You're making a circle. You better put sunglasses on. You're cutting the edges off. You're cutting the pointy part off. Sanding it, but making a mess. Sanding it so it doesn't have pokes on it. Look, Dad, I saw the eyeballs. Yep, poor Sandy. What are you doing? of that. Putting glue into the holes. Sanding it more. Putting it sideways and sanding on there. You're sanding it but making a big mess. Opening the blue paint and smearing it on the sides. Painting it with water. Making sure it's not dusty. Scrubbing it. Painting it with blue epoxy, but you can't see it. Marking the spots where those are, where my legs are. Making holes. We're screws into the legs. I'm coming in and filling my lamp. And I loved it. We were playing with it. I love it and thank you.
Thanks for watching.